Hello and welcome. I want to talk about the new moon solar eclipse, that ring of fire that has just completed about 20 minutes ago from shooting this video. And I wanted to give it a little new scenery. Maybe I always talk about my bird feeder and the birds that come to me when I'm reading cards, and I will pull some cards here. But maybe they'll come visit while we read into this energy a little bit deeper. But before I do, I want to just read to you. I wrote some notes down on what was channeling through me this morning as this eclipse was happening. And the first thing I was hearing was the old spell is breaking. Or for me, is broken. I've had a lot of light bulb moments from past relationships. And Libra, this new moon eclipse in Libra, in a square with Pluto and conjunct Mercury, is all about our relationships, and it is destructive for some, reconstructive for all of us eventually, and very regenerative. So it's been really deep. We definitely, there's a lot of depth and emotion and energy involved with this. Relationships are very important to us in this lifetime, in all lifetimes. If we didn't have relationships with each other, we would not have any soul growth or karma. And we are all born, incarnated into each life, carrying the leftover karma or lessons to be learned, healed from, and grow from the past. So what I wrote down was realizing that this again speaks to the loneliness card that has been coming up in all of the readings for the past month or so, maybe longer. Realizing that we've sacrificed our truth self. Now, this is for many starseeds and empaths. Not everybody is going to resonate, but this is just what came through to me for my light bulb moments, for some experiences that I've had in my past. So realizing we've sacrificed our true selves for companionship, to be accepted, to be liked, to be loved, in some way, shape, or form. We lose ourselves in certain relationships. This is where the spell, there's an energy that feels as if it is a spell. We go foggy. And eventually we get pulled into the spell, and it seems great, it feels good. We feel like we're riding high, and then we get enveloped. We get consumed by it, and that's where our lines get blurry with another, and we go foggy. Things become darker and more dense within ourselves, and we begin to put on an act and play a role or a part, like we're playing a part in some play. And this is in order to adapt. This is a survival skill that many of us have. But then over time we find that we need to find ways to numb ourselves from the pain of actually not living in our true authenticity. And many of us may have tried in the past, especially when we were children, and had been rejected, ostracized, which is why we formed certain patterns. We also developed these through our first relationships of when we were born, whether it be our parents or our caregivers. It's either passed down from them, but we also form them through our experiences with them. And this is karma. This is not to place blame. This is to understand where we've been, where we're going, collectively, energetically, emotionally, through relationships. So when we find ways to numb the pain. Now, when I'm reflecting back at the time where this happened for me. And I remember very specifically because it was one of the last times that we've had this eclipse energy. It was right after my father had died, and I jumped right into a relationship shortly after, not processing the pain of what I had gone through the death of my father, which was pretty tragic and put a lot of responsibility onto me. Shortly after going into this relationship, which then turned into a marriage, I started to experience physical pain, my back, spine pain. And logically, I had been in a car accident, so there were a lot of other reasons to be given why I had been experiencing this pain. But this is, again, the universe speaks in symbology. The universe, our life will put us in scenarios. So I had to go through physical pain because I was not addressing the emotional and psychological pain, and I was carrying that on with me into yet again another relationship. So anyway, and maybe some of you resonate with some of this. So we find ways to numb the pain. Our souls are crying out to us. The universe is lifting the veil while cranking up the heat right now in order for us to truly see what we've been doing, who we've become, and realize who we truly are underneath all of the falseness, the armor, and projections, and what we've created for ourselves by doing so, by not honoring our authenticity, our emotions, our bodies, our very souls. And I feel like many, if not all, starseeds or souls have some form of this lesson to learn through relationships in this lifetime. So ask yourself, what is it that you are deeply and truly yearning for in this life, throughout your entire life? We're getting a good look at this now. What we do to avoid pain and suffering. We try to control, we try to submit to others, needs and wants. We try to run and hide, suppress, deny. Suppressed pain and suffering causes physical pain, as I was explaining how I went through a physical pain journey for a good 15, 16 years of my life. I had to have surgeries. I was on medications. I took a journey downward spiral in my life from where I had been. And I learned a lot as I had to spiral back up out of that journey as well. And it was not easy, but it was very enlightening for sure. Suppressed pain and suffering causes physical pain and suffering. We're born into this life carrying certain pain and suffering from past life. We incarnate into families that either carry the same pattern or are designed to recreate the same pain and suffering we incarnated at this time to heal and move beyond. And this was very apparent to me. I had a lot of beautiful synchronicities, and the guides were with me through all of this download that I received. The spell is being lifted. The doors to a new future are now open wide. Will you walk through this new door? You must let go of everything that's been causing you pain in order to do this. Your new life will cost you your old life. So the universe is really saying it's time to stop running from what you've been trying to avoid all along your whole life. Vulnerability, loneliness, the need to belong, to be liked, to be accepted, to be loved, which is true. We're actually being placed into scenarios, many are being placed into scenarios to get to view their avoidance patterns, or their patterns, their avoidance patterns through relationships. Being put back into scenarios. So you may feel like you're going backwards, Some of you may be going backwards to course correct. It's also bringing to the surface exactly what we need to see that we've been running from all along. So Mars, let me back up, excuse me. I wanted to give new scenery because I was hoping, maybe I already mentioned this, but I was hoping maybe some birds would come visit us. I'm always talking about my bird feeder because I read from the other side of the table here. This is a passionate and emotional week for us all, more so than probably ever before. There will be many who refuse to learn. This is important also. This could be family members, friends who are not seeing what it is that you are seeing, or refusing to dive deeper in and want to continue to avoid. This is important to understand. Try not to get caught up in trying to educate them or pulling them out of a learning lesson that they're meant to learn in their own way. We can't save people. Trust me when I say I know this from experience. Now, if somebody comes to you like help and they obviously have a conscious awareness of what is going on, certainly we want to be there for each other. But this is if somebody is completely blind to what's going on, unconscious, they need to be woken up, and the universe will be doing this for them in their own time, in their own way. It's now their time to find someone else to energetically feed off of, and that should not be you. Let go with love. You can always be their energetic influence, but it's time for us to, it's time for whoever I'm speaking to, it is time for you to go along on your own healing journey, gather your energy back up, and not to waste your time allowing others to drain your battery right now, your energy of you. You need all of your energy right now, more so now than ever. Another thing that we are learning or realizing, and these are also coping mechanisms or survival patterns. For me, it was always a way of controlling, not manipulating, but especially those of us who already have our psychic senses. And this is me in the past. This is not me now, but definitely it's in my birth chart of trying to control situations and people and scenarios, and you just cannot. That's definitely a lesson I've learned many years ago, but I wanted to put that out there. Mars is in Scorpio now, in trying to Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. So this is really Mars is giving us the energy, giving people the energy and the guts and the courage to, and the willpower to really change that which you've already known you've had to change, as far as habits, patterns. It could be addictive patterns, and haven't really fully broken that pattern. You haven't really fully gathered the discipline and the willingness to integrate that change into your life. You've been buying extra time, basically, from the universe. And Saturn's been in Pisces since 1994. Saturn has retrograded all the way back to 0 degrees Pisces. So we're all the way at the finish line, and the universe is like, time's up. You bought enough time. Now it is time to, you know what you need to change. You know what you need to let go of. This is the time. It has to happen. It has to happen now. This is the time to make that change, or you may find yourself falling back into that old karmic cycle once again. We just really don't want to do this. But again, you can't, everybody's got to learn their lessons their own way. They have to integrate and go through their own processes to fully really get the most out of this. So I'm really just speaking to those of you who are already consciously aware of your journey, consciously aware of all the shifts and changes that are happening, not just for yourself, but for your loved ones, for those around you, for the world at large, the entire collective around us. Because there will be some who will fall back into a karmic cycle. We all have repeated them our whole lifetime. This is just many of us are now like, I am so done with that. The door's open, let me in. I'm letting my whole old life go. Bye-bye. I have really done the work to do so. But you will be seeing many fall back into the fog, the density, the spell that will be cast upon them again. But there is a little bit of clarity for everybody through the eclipse, through these like next 2 weeks or maybe a little bit more. I don't know timing so much. I don't get a lot of timing. And I don't really follow the timing astrologically, because time is not linear anyway. We spiral around and around and around. So we can spiral up, we spiral down. But this is that time to make that change. Some will go spiral back down, and the doors will eventually close. So this is the week to buckle up and let go and move into a new, healthy, authentic version of you. This is our karma with ourselves, basically. So the Saturn, yeah, we already talked about Saturn retrograding back to 0 degrees Pisces. This is where Saturn began this story, this narrative, this part of our journey in 1994. For any of you who want to reflect back on where you were, or who you were to yourself, your relationship to yourself back when Saturn began its journey in Pisces. I know the video I did prior to this, I had mentioned the eclipse cycles, and I brought up 2003, and I had said 2013. That was quite the faux pas, but obviously not. Everything happens for a reason. 2013, or maybe 14, 15 is Black Moon Lilith cycle that asked us to face our fears, especially fears of like who we're becoming, what we are turning into, whether we're becoming, and this is more on the darker side, an addict, facing the fears of, I think I'm addicted. I think that I'm victimizing myself, or I'm becoming the perpetrator or the narcissist. There's like a little bit of a self-awareness there before you take that deep dive into actually becoming something that you feared to become your whole life. So this is really taking a look again at facing our fears of what we do not want to become. For me, it was a control freak. It's also having us really take a double check on our inner dialogue, our inner narrative about ourselves. So you may be finding yourself being critical of yourself. Take a look at that. Don't just sweep it under the rug. Take a look at what your relationship is to yourself. And with Jupiter and Taurus, that's really, this is our time to change our narrative about ourselves, change the story that we tell ourselves. And if you find yourself saying, you know, I always lose, I don't have good luck, all of those kinds of stories, you want to stop those right now, because Jupiter is expanding that, and we are creating from those inner narratives. So take a look at them. But again, this is the opportunity. This is the time to let that all go. Clean slate. This is clean slate energy. Libra is about balance, especially balance within our relationships. Again, our relationships are important. Libra is the other. This is about collaboration. It can also be about competition and comparison. So you may be experiencing a lot more of this. You may be triggered by a lot of this. Eclipses are meant to crack us open, just like a glass that breaks. Whatever contents were in that glass suddenly seep out or pour out. Envision yourself being the glass, and this eclipse cracking you open. So what needs to seep out comes out. What needs to be released is released. And triggers are needed. I know I used to speak about triggers a lot, and it actually triggered people. Even the word triggered people, but they're needed. these are our clues and cues for what it is that we do need to heal and release. I don't know her name, but she has a channel on YouTube, Moon Omens. Really amazing channel. Check her out. She speaks of the story of Hansel and Gretel. You know, when Hansel and Gretel are lost in the woods, they're dropping the stones to remember their path, remember where they came from. These triggers are those stones leading us back to home, where we came from. Follow that path to home, to your inner home here. What else did I write down? What is deep inside of me that attracts certain types of scenarios, people, relationship, words, actions to me? That is also what's being revealed right now. Is it, for example, like suppressed or hidden anger? Is it suppressed or hidden feelings of unworthiness? Is it hidden jealousy, hidden, you name it? That is what is being shown to us right now. So really rise above whatever's going on in the duality world and see how the universe is speaking to you through your relationships, through all types of relationships, even your relationship with yourself, to really gain this sense of awareness of why everything's happened to you, that it has happened for you, for us, our whole life of evolution. And the more conscious and aware we are of what is really going on, how we are being assisted in waking up and releasing, letting go of our past selves, our past karma, our past karmic relationship patterns to ourselves and to others. It's amazing. What is it hidden inside of me that the universe uses? The universe is using triggers as clues. The clues that would show us, like our parents, our caregivers, that created these certain specific relationship patterns, relationship patterns within me. Dive that deep. This is what we need to heal and let go of. This is our opportunity to really get to the root of certain things for ourselves and heal and release from. Dreams and recurring memories are also clues, especially right now. So if you have somebody, a certain relationship from the past, or somebody that's in your current life experience, and you're either constantly having memories of them come up, or you're dreaming of them constantly, that is another clue as to what you need to look at in a new light, in a way of like, what was this showing me or teaching me about my patterns, about how I treat myself, how I think of myself, and my relationship patterns. Was I able to speak up for myself, or be straightforward, or was I controlling? So again, it's intense and it is very energetic, but understand that the universal language, again, is symbolic. It's not logical. It's feeling. It's not mental. But life and the universe is speaking to every single one of us profoundly, especially right now. So let's just get a quick read on this. Let's see if I can push this back so I can show you the cards. Hope you're all doing well. 24 minutes already. Wow, I didn't expect to talk that long. Sorry. Got a lot of stuff coming through me right now. All right. Let me just situate myself a little bit better here. There we go. All right. And what are the messages for us all for this solar eclipse cycle? Knew you wanted to come out. Loneliness, judgment. So the cards again are reiterating exactly what I was already speaking of through my notes. Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Let me get one more. Sorry. Because loneliness came out right after that. Again, reiterating those who are not ready to learn, are not ready to consciously wake up fully and have their own unique path. Try not to hold on to them. Try not to pull them in your direction because they will pull you down. Don't use loneliness as a reason. Well, check the pattern. Are you staying in certain relationships because you fear being lonely? That's a big one. Okay. Okay. Fear. All right. That's exactly the message here. Patience. All right. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So there are many who have held on to relationships for fear of being alone. And it is important. It's not saying that you have to leave these relationships, but if they are pulling you down, if they are not serving you, if you are unhappy, if you find yourself repeating karmic cycles, it is time for you to find a new... Well, first of all, I realize I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. And then we have love below that. Grief below that. I understand that losing someone or something is an opportunity to appreciate it. Whether or not you decide to stay in a relationship or keep a friendship, which may really become... the universe works in mysterious ways, okay? So somebody may leave you, even though you were supposed to really leave that. The paths go in different directions at times. They have their own unique path. So understand that and recognize that. Do not fear being alone because, first of all, you are not alone and you are not meant to be alone. You are meant to, first of all, be your own best friend and give yourself that love. But also be patient because your soul tribe, your soul connections that are for this next chapter are sitting here just waiting. They're waiting for every single one of us to kind of push through this cycle here of cleansing. This is destructive of what no longer serves us. What served its purpose, it's done. Reconstructive of gathering all of our lost parts, gathering our soul back together again and seeing what we do not want to repeat, and being patient. Be patient with the process. And of course, face our fears, but also understand that your fears are just a test. Testing your resolve to live in the energy of love. And these are relationships of all kinds. I don't feel that any human being on this planet is exempt from this. To one degree or the other. Not that you may not be having, like, I'm not having physical relationship pattern experiences now. I have gone through them many times, trust me, but I'm having remembrances and realizations of how, of what I no longer want to repeat, and why I did have bigger realizations as to why certain people had certain outbursts and trying to control me. All of that stuff. A lot of big realizations there. So we're all seeing things through the cosmic mirror, one way, shape, or form. Let's talk about judgment a little bit deeper here. And, you know, the energy, I say it feels like a spell. because reflecting back on my journey, and where I am now, conscious-wise, I realized that, like, how did I even get into that scenario, that situation? And the energy is very enticing. It really, like, pulls you into, like, a hypnotic sort of spell. And it's because we are contracted to have certain experiences with certain souls. And if you're not going to have it with this particular one, there's going to be a whole nother one with the same blueprint, with the same pattern recognition, whatever you want to call it. We are each meant to have these experiences with another human being because we are signed up to learn these things. 3 of inspirations. Pretty much explaining, yeah, look at those dominoes fall. Chain reaction, I'm hearing. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. The one thing that we can do, we can't force somebody to learn their lessons. We can't even really hold someone's hand into learning their lessons. We really have to let go and let the universe take over, let things fall into place as they are meant to. However, this also chain reaction is we can be that domino that begins that chain reaction of healing. We can be that influence for others. That is the best thing that we can do. That is how it's meant to, how it's designed to be, awakening. And we are awakening through this loneliness card. Loneliness, fear of being alone, or actually a lot of people have been placed in a scenario where they are alone because that is their deepest fear, only to find that, wow, I needed to know myself. I needed to get to know myself, love myself. And it is, we resist a lot of the times because we don't want to take a look in the mirror at ourselves. We don't want to dive deep into the feelings that creep up within us. But when we we awaken to the truth, loneliness is your best friend because that is you with you. And you discover what kind of scenarios I put myself in because I was afraid of being alone. I can laugh at it now, but it is not funny when you're in it. I know that, and I apologize. I'm not laughing at anybody. I'm laughing along with all of us because eventually when you can laugh at yourself, the star, when you heal and you can laugh at this, at your patterns, at everything, and because you have this realization, like, I am free. I am so free from ever repeating that again. History repeats itself until we make a conscious effort and decision to change. This is our time. This is our opportunity. The star, be patient. Everything happens in divine order. This is your wishes. Wish upon a star. Hopes and wishes and dreams are coming true. But we have to heal through some residual karmic stuff. And that's what we're doing right now. Even if you think, I've already done that. Well, guess what? There's more. Plunge into it. Even if and it gets easier and easier the more and more you do it. We have the Queen of Emotions at the bottom of the deck. Below that is the Knight of Emotions. And below that is the 3 of Emotions. All about the emotions. Feeling and not afraid to feel, not afraid to express how you feel, all of how you feel, very emotionally supportive, receptive, listening, as well as expressing. And 3 of Emotions are relationships, those that we want to celebrate life with. Beautiful. And this is what we are creating, something brand new. It does take conscious awareness of what is actually happening cosmically, and to get out of your own way, to get out of what the narrative of the mind, definitely pay attention to what the mind is saying, but you don't have to believe it or even trust it. Trust your heart, trust your feelings. That's your intuition, your gut. We're going to get one last message from Moonology before I wrap this up for everybody, for all of us. All right. I didn't even look. It's raining here, so I doubt that any birds are going to be coming to visit us, but do pay attention to the bird feeder behind me because there are some really amazing birds that do show up when I'm doing readings. And if not, there's some beautiful nature behind me. It's a new backdrop. Look at the bigger picture. Brilliant. Perfect message. That's exactly, for those of us who are consciously aware and going through these changes, this eclipse energy, wanting to break patterns, wanting to break free, desiring our hopes and wishes and dreams are to actually have conscious connections to others and really thrive in them. We're being asked to elevate our perspective, and look at the bigger picture. I'm going to read from the book also. Are you thinking too much about the details of your dilemma? Fretting over minute can be counterproductive. Or perhaps you're being all talk and no action. This card is a reminder that while it's good to think things through, sometimes you need to step back and look at the bigger picture. What do you then see about your current situation? What's the most positive thought you can have about it? Now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't yet have exactly what you want. This card is also a reminder that we often have to take a few risks and go with uncertainty on this journey called life. Try to keep an open mind about what's for the best. The universe could surprise you. Beautiful. Life is an adventure, you know, and it is important to realize that we really don't have full control over everything, and we don't have control over many things, but we can have control over ourselves, our emotions, our reactivity, and our energy. And we will definitely see what unfolds next for each and every one of us as we continue to journey through this awakening process, healing from our past, and going through those open doors to the bright new future that we all wish, hope, and dream of. And that is a beautiful thing. So these are the messages that I have for us all for this new moon solar eclipse in Libra, which is happening today, has already happened. We will be carried out through this energy. We've got 2 more weeks until the lunar eclipse, and then we have 6 months to really play through a lot of this energy. But I feel like many of us have already had a lot of breakthroughs, and now is just the time to sit back and be patient and see, what does the divine have for us next? It's all in, I accept that everything happens in divine order, to be patient. So thank you all for joining. I'm sending you out so much love. Take care. Bye.